India, as a nation, stands as one of the world's most complex and compelling experiments in unity amid diversity. Stretching over 3.28 million square kilometers, it is almost as vast as the European Union, and its population, over 1.4 billion people, is more than the combined populations of the Americas. Yet, India isn't simply a large country. It is a tapestry woven from hundreds of languages, countless ethnicities, religions, and regional identities. To understand the implications of India remaining united versus fragmenting into smaller nation-states, let's explore both scenarios in detail, weighing their respective advantages and challenges. First, consider the reality of a united India. The sheer scale of the country is a unique asset. Its massive internal market fuels economic growth, attracting global investment that seeks both scale and diversity. Corporations and entrepreneurs thrive in a market where innovation can be tested and scaled rapidly, reaching tens or even hundreds of millions of consumers. The diversity of India's states, each with distinct cultures, languages, and economic profiles, contributes to a dynamism that's rare in global economics. From the tech hubs of Bengaluru and Hyderabad, to the agricultural heartlands of Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, to the manufacturing centers of Gujarat and Maharashtra, India is a microcosm of the global economy itself. Yet, this unity comes with challenges. Governance in such a vast and varied country is a formidable task. Regional disparities persist in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic opportunities. Some states, particularly those in the South and West, have surged ahead in human development, literacy, and industrialization, while others lag behind. Political tensions flare when regional aspirations seem to be ignored, or when federal policies are perceived as favoring one part of the country over another. Language and culture can sometimes be flashpoints, with debates over linguistic primacy or cultural recognition. Despite these fault lines, the benefits of unity are significant. India's global diplomatic and military standing is amplified by its size and coherence. As a united nation, India can negotiate from a position of strength, whether in trade talks, climate negotiations, or geopolitical maneuvers. Its shared market enables rapid economic integration, with states able to trade freely, labor able to migrate easily, and businesses able to expand across state lines without the barriers that often plague fragmented regions. Now, imagine a hypothetical scenario in which India fragments into a series of nation-states, each corresponding roughly to its linguistic or regional boundaries. The southern states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, could form independent countries, perhaps united in a confederation or cooperative union. These states already boast higher literacy rates, robust health indicators, and vibrant economies centered on technology, manufacturing, and services. Their ports open directly onto the Indian Ocean, giving them strategic advantages in global trade and naval power. If southern India were independent, it might integrate with the global economy even more swiftly. With governance tailored to local cultures and economic strengths, these new countries could attract foreign investment, develop distinctive brands, and pursue policies finely tuned to their population's needs. Their experience mirrors that of city-states like Singapore or countries such as South Korea, which leveraged openness and local strengths to become economic powerhouses. However, fragmentation brings its own set of risks. The loss of the unified Indian market would be keenly felt. Each new country would have to negotiate trade agreements, establish border controls, and manage the flow of goods, services, and people. Resource distribution, especially water, energy, and minerals, could become contentious as rivers and power grids cross new national boundaries. Border disputes and military tensions could arise, recalling the upheaval of the 1947 partition, which led to violence, mass migrations, and lingering hostilities. Geopolitically, the sum of fragmented Indian states might not equate to the strength of a united India. Individually, these countries could struggle to match the economic or military clout of China, the United States, or the European Union. Their voices in global forums would be diminished, and their ability to defend against external threats or negotiate favorable trade deals could be compromised. Fragmentation could also increase vulnerability to external influences or regional rivalries, undermining stability. For northern states, the challenges could be even greater. Many face lower human development indicators, greater poverty, and more complex social tensions. Without the economic dynamism of southern and western states, they could struggle to attract investment and build competitive economies. Regional rivalries could intensify, with disputes over resources, migration, and political influence. The risk of internal conflict could rise, as historical grievances and new borders create fresh flashpoints. Yet there is a third path, one that seeks to combine the best of both worlds. India could evolve into a stronger federal model akin to the European Union or the United States. In this system, states would enjoy significant autonomy over economic, cultural, and social policies, while the central government would retain authority over defense, foreign policy, and currency. States could chart their own courses, tailoring governance to local needs, fostering innovation, and attracting investment, all while benefiting from the overarching stability and shared market of the Union. Such a federal model would empower regions like southern India to pursue their ambitions while preserving the unity that underpins India's global standing and internal stability. It would enable states to experiment with policies, learn from each other's successes and failures, and collaborate on cross-regional challenges like climate change, infrastructure, and migration. Shared defense and foreign policy would ensure that India's voice remains strong on the world stage, and a common currency would facilitate trade and investment across state lines. The risks of this approach lie in balancing autonomy with unity. Federal systems require careful negotiation between central and regional powers, with clear delineation of authority and robust mechanisms for resolving disputes. Ensuring equitable resource distribution, protecting minority rights, and fostering national identity amid regional pride are ongoing challenges. Yet, the experience of federations like the US and the EU suggests that these challenges can be managed, especially when there is a commitment to cooperation and mutual benefit. Let's examine the comparative pros and cons of these scenarios in detail. India United. Pros. A shared market of 1.4 billion people, offering unparalleled scale for businesses and investors. Unified diplomatic and military power, enhancing global influence and security. Free movement of people, goods, and capital across state lines, fostering economic growth and innovation. Ability to pool resources for large-scale infrastructure, education, healthcare, and research. Protection against external threats through a coordinated defense and foreign policy. Cons. Regional disparities in development, leading to social tensions and political conflict. Challenges in governance and policy making, with one-size-fits-all policies sometimes failing to address local needs. Occasional friction over language, culture, and resource allocation. Potential for alienation of regions that feel underrepresented or marginalized. India fragmented. Pros. Smaller countries can tailor governance to local cultures, languages, and economic strengths, potentially boosting efficiency and satisfaction. Each nation-state could attract investment suited to its specific profile, pursuing unique paths to development. Local identities and aspirations could find fuller expression, reducing regional grievances. Southern India, with its advanced economy and global connections, could thrive as an independent entity. Cons. Loss of the vast internal market, creating barriers to trade, investment, and migration. Increased risk of border disputes, resource conflicts, and military competition. Diminished global standing, with individual countries struggling to match the influence of a united India. Potential for internal instability, especially in regions with historical grievances or lower development indicators. Disruption of shared infrastructure, supply chains, and resource management. Stronger federal model. Pros. States gain autonomy to pursue tailored policies and development strategies. India retains its unified market, global influence, and security. Regional identities and aspirations can flourish within a stable national framework. Opportunities for interstate collaboration and learning. Flexibility to adapt to changing economic, social, and technological landscapes. Cons. Requires careful negotiation of powers and responsibilities. Potential for disputes over resource allocation, minority rights, and policy coordination. Risks of fragmentation if federal mechanisms are weak or poorly designed. Ongoing need to balance unity and diversity, national identity, and regional pride. Ultimately, the question is not simply whether southern India, or any region, would thrive independently. It is whether the benefits of autonomy justify the cost of fragmentation, and whether a stronger federal model can deliver the advantages of both unity and diversity. India's history, marked by centuries of integration and adaptation, suggests that cooperation and coexistence are not only possible but essential for stability and progress. The path forward for India lies in embracing its diversity, empowering its regions, and building institutions that can manage differences while preserving unity. Whether through constitutional reform, devolution of powers, or new models of governance, India can chart a course that enables all its regions to flourish, together or apart. The stakes are immense, not only for India, but for the world, as the choices made by this civilizational continent will shape the future of democracy, development, and human possibility. As India continues its journey, the dialogue between unity and diversity will remain central. By learning from its own history and from global experiences, India can build a future that honors its many voices while harnessing the strength of its collective will. In this delicate balance lies the promise of a nation, and perhaps a continent, that can thrive amid complexity, challenge, and change.